Happy midweek. So padayon kita sa atong panagisgot sa culture and narrative. This is part 12. Okay? When we say culture, mga naanaran, okay, naandan. And narrative, what is the story of the Bible says about it. So last time we had a discussion on younger over the older brother, and we understood that it's because that is God's ways. That's how He works. In the culture of the Jewish people, it's always the elder brother who has double portion, and he seems to be powerful and strong. But in the Bible, it doesn't work that way. God reversed it. It's through the younger one, and we know that we are the younger ones in the story of the Bible. Jesus is our elder brother. Okay, God, of course, is the Father, and we are one family. And whatever the ear is Jesus. The Father is willing to give everything to Him, the universe basically. And then yes, He was made an heir after His work of redemption, and we became co-heirs with Him. Okay, dili na double portion lang kan Jesus. What Jesus has, we also have it. So all of us are the younger brother. That's why in the story of the prodigal son, very open kay Ginoo Jesus Christ to tell that story. But now we understood that we are the younger son, because our hearts are always far from Him, always far from home. We always go away from Him, but we realize our sinfulness. We come back. And the Father clothes us with His righteousness, puts a ring on us and sandals, and welcomes us back to the family. That's our story. Now today, we'll move back a bit to the story of Jacob, the wrestling of God with Jacob. Jacob wrestles with God. Okay, in Genesis chapter 32, very familiar ning storya when Jacob was going back to Canaan after he was there in the place of Laban. He married, and then coming back, working many years for his wives, dagan may asawa. And now he was afraid to face Esau, and that's why before crossing, going back to Canaan, he stayed in this place, kilid sa Suba. And that's where God met him, and he wrestled with God, and he said, "Bless me before you let me go. Bless me." And at that point, we see in the story that God gave in to Jacob. Okay, God was willing to lose. Very interesting kaya nga picture. God willing to lose because He said, "Okay, I'll give in to what you're saying. Okay, what you're asking." And that's why He dislocated the hip of Jacob, and that's why the law of Moses doesn't allow them to, but specifically tells them don't do that, in remembrance of the struggle of Jacob with God. And it was God, because Jacob himself said, "Peniel, I've seen God face to face." So siya lang yun po na nakita sa Ginoo face to face. Interesting kaya story, di ba? What a experience seeing God face to face. Moses did not see God face to face. Abraham, it was only by fire. That's why dagan argumento nga symbolic na daw ni. But the narrative doesn't say that one. He really saw it, and he was wrestling with it. And then when they were wrestling, ang hip joint ang gi-dislocate. Okay? So dili to siya wrestling gamit ang kamot pagakus. Kini murag UFC nga gilak bitaw gid ang tiil ang gigamit. And that's why Jacob kusgan mga isya. He wouldn't let go. That's why his hip was dislocated. Okay? And that's why he had a limp starting from then on. So, we hear the story and say, "Oy, murag unsa may lesson na. We should be like Jacob, would be after the blessing." Now, that shows us the heart of man. The heart of man is always after the blessing. Okay? Blessing. Wa na gid sila nung nauna. And while we are talking about culture and narrative, mga naanaran, di ba? We're trying to understand what is in the heart of man, what is in the back of the mind of man, heart and mind. It's always about the pursuit of blessing. And that's Jacob basically. And God was willing to give in to him, interestingly. But there is a mention of Jacob again in Hosea. Okay? And the interesting of all interesting in the story. Now we know Hosea was a story of Hosea being told by God to get a wife, and we know that his wife was going after other husbands, and the point of the story was to picture out Israel, and his heart is always going away from God. Diba? Ingon siya, "I am the husband." Okay? And Israel is my wife. But he won't find his fulfillment and satisfaction in me. He will always go after other gods, after other husbands. Lisod to nga istorya. But then there is an interesting story here because it talks about the punishment of Judah. And Judah basically is Israel. Judah is the fourth son, and out from him came the Messiah. Okay? The lineage of the Messiah. In chapter 12, it says here, charges against Israel and Judah. Israel surrounds me with lies and deceit, but Judah still obeys God and is faithful to the Holy One. The people of Israel feed on the wind. They chase after the east wind all day long. They pile up lies and violence. They're making an alliance with Assyria while sending olive oil to buy support from Egypt. Mawagid ganaya ang Ginoo sa ila kay ang ilang reliance, ilang dependence na sa ilang kagalingon on Assyria, which is their enemy, on Egypt where they were taken from God. Timaan mo na unsa ingon dinhi? They were sending olive oil to buy support from Egypt, from all the people nga padalaan nila sa ilang olive oil ang Egypt pa, where they were slaves for many years, and God did not want that. Okay? Ingon din Now the Lord is bringing charges against Judah. He is about to punish Jacob. And here very specific ang translation na I note din he is about to punish the deceiver. Okay? He's going to punish Jacob for all his deceitful ways and pay him back for all he has done. So there is a pagpagsingil ng Jacob. Wala na si Jacob pa rin. Down the line na rin. Tugdugay na. Even in the womb, Jacob struggled with his brother. When he became a man, he even fought with God. So grabe no, he even fought with God. Yes, he wrestled with the angel and won. That's what I've been saying. It was the time that God was willing to lose, to give Jacob the victory. He said, wow, what a story, di ba? Okay, but just you wait, okay? And I remember when we were in Davao Occidental one time, nagtudlo me, ingon gito dito ang magitudluan, we should be like Jacob. We should be always after the blessing. Yung marang lagi, the story suggests nga, yeah, we should be like Jacob after the blessing. Di pa ito nahuman ang storya, okay? So ingon din yes, he wrestled with the angel and won. He wept and pleaded for a blessing from him. Grabe kayo, wept and pleaded. So may hilak na gyud nga tuko ay ko blessing ba. Grabe na gyud kayo nga. Blessing lang gyud perminti na sa unahuna na sa kasing-kasing. There at Bethel, he met God face to face. Because it was really God himself na yung natubang na yung na-wrestling. Okay? God spoke to him. Ingon din Ingon din sa verse 7. But no, the people are like crafty merchants, selling from dishonest scales. They love to cheat. Israel, now this is now Jacob, he was turned to Israel. Israel boasts, I am rich. I have made a fortune all by myself. No one has caught me cheating. My record is spotless. And this is where the problem is. This is what in the heart of man, in the heart of Jacob, of Israel, the one who struggles. Because iyang giangkon sa iyang kagalingon. Nawala sa picture ang Ginoo karon. It is about himself now. That has been the problem of man because we are always pursuing blessing. But the problem is once we pursue blessing, the blessing tends to replace the Lord and wala na siya. Replace na gid siya. And it's all about us na karon. Okay? Now we have to be very careful because we listen to preaching like that. We start with God, but the end is man. We have to be very careful. It's very deceiving na papaminawon ng istorya. But I think we always have to end with God. Okay? And that's basically the problem of Jacob. He was always after the blessing. And even God was willing to give way to him. But to really show him, this is your heart, Jacob. And later, years later, wala na si Jacob. Mao pagyapon ng kasing-kasing sa mga Israelita. Okay, ngayang mga kaliwat. Nga, ang mga panalangin sa Ginoo sa ila, ang grasya sa Ginoo sa ila, okay, take over na sa ilang life. And they tend to replace God and remove Him out of their lives, saying, it is I. Okay, yung din ba? I've made a fortune all by myself. I am rich. No one has caught me cheating. My record is spotless. Hinambog pa siya nga wala ko na nakasapon sa iya. Remember before, bago may graduate sa pag-eskwela, na may internship, dayon. Pagbalik sa mga interns na ay murag time to tell a testimony, na may badlungon kayo nga classmate. Ningon gid siya nga salamat siya nga mo-graduate na siya ug wala pa siya masapon sa iya kuno mga binuang. Hapit siya wala pag-graduate. Kung wala sa gikaluyan kung wala lang ng abogado ang iyang tatay sa iya ha, udi gito ipag-graduate pero magali na nay ng abogado sa iya. But just like that, naon sa klaseng kasing-kasing na nagipahinambog pa nimo nga walay nakasapon sa imuha. That's what Israel is. It says my record is spotless. Now it's all been I, me, my. Okay? Taking away the place of God. Because what's the problem? Because it's always the pursuit of blessing. Now, this is not me talking. This is the Bible itself, and this is Hosea. Okay? But I am the Lord your God who rescued you from slavery in Egypt, and I will make you live in tents again, and you do each year the festival of shelters. I sent my prophets to warn you with many visions and parables. So, daghan pa din yung mga storya sa Ginoo nga layo, lang kasing-kasing, kay perminti lang blessing ilang ipangahiw sa Ginoo. Just like their father Jacob, who was changed to Israel to struggle. And you know what? Ang nakita ginigawas din Nga Jacob, diba, he was turned to Israel. His name means struggle right now. Yes, he was always struggling for blessing. Blessing. But there is a tendency for blessing to replace God in our lives. And then it becomes about us. So, this is very human. Tawhanon gid kayo nga mag-careful kita. Okay? Dili man po dingon mag-careful, di man ibalaon, but it describes us nga ana gid ta. We are always after the blessing. Okay? But interestingly, God gives way to us. But we see here, God willing to lose, okay? To give us everything. Because that is a picture of salvation. God losing his own son, giving up his own son. Jesus dying, that is basically losing. So that he could redeem us. Okay? And he is willing to give to us what is given to Jesus because we are co-heirs of Jesus and we are the younger son. He is the elder brother. And that's how God works. Displaying his power through weakness, through the weak ones. So, Israel basically is a display of the power of God, of his grace, of his love. But sadly, it has all become about them, taking away, removing God from their lives. So, it's a great reminder, the heart of man. Okay, it's always after the blessing, just like Jacob. And we always have a tendency to remove him, and then it all becomes about us. So, God have mercy on us. So, happy Wednesday, and hope everything is doing well sa atong tanan.